You're listening to Real Restaurant Radio, the show that inspires up-and-coming restaurant and bar owners, along with current operators, to pursue their passion in the restaurant business. I am your host, Kostas Lazanis, and I'm joined, as always, with my good friend, Carrie Hodson. Let us guide you through the process of being a successful owner and teach you how to make an impact in today's culinary world. My 5 shots of espresso.
Okay, that's what's going on.
Carrie, what's going on? Welcome back to Real Restaurant Radio. I'm glad you can join me, man.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll say 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. What's that? What are you? What was this? What was that sound?
I just brought a beer so we could drink. We didn't get to it last episode, so it's the Garland Guzzler. It's our Oktoberfest style ale that we made for the city.
This has got to be the hardest job recording this podcast with you because you have to sit here and force me to try all these freaking beers and stuff. It's horrible.
Sorry, man.
What?
It comes with the package.
All right. We'll do it. All right. So the Garland Guzzler. What's the name of this beer?
It's called the Garland Guzzler. Next year we're gonna change it up a little bit, and I'm gonna try some.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
I can
wow, this looks great, and of course you actually have it packaged in your own signature cans.
Yeah, those are our
which is
crowlers.
really nice.
So we that's kind of our blank can for beers we don't have a label for. So if you come in and you don't have a growler or a glass container to bring the beer home with you in,
Smells amazing.
we'll actually fill one of these cans up and write the name in the white blank spot and seam it on the spot. So I seamed that last night.
I like it, man. Looks really good. And then I actually brought my little empty bottle, Patron bottle.
Tequila, man. Come on.
I'm telling you. Well, we actually at Old Buggery Taverna, we actually offer smoked cocktails, and recently we had a bourbon barrel quad by Boulevard Brewing Company, and we actually have a mutual customer. His name is Ken Purser. He with Purser's Hardwood Flooring, and we actually had a smoked bourbon barrel quad by Boulevard Brewing Company. I actually bless you.
Excuse me.
I actually added a little bit of brandy and it turned out really good with the smoke and the brandy and the beer, like a little beer cocktail.
Nice.
And it turned out really good. So,
is that what we're doing today? We're making a beer cocktail?
I didn't bring the brandy, but we're definitely going to smoke it. I know you're interested in getting a smoke gun for Intrinsic, right?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I've been wanting to try that. I did text you this week about it, and I was like, "Hey, man, what smoking gun did you get?" Because I've seen you've been doing the smoked cocktails, and you said save it for the
podcast.
Save it for the podcast.
Yeah, so this is the Bevel Polyscience.
Okay, cool. I thought that was a fancy hair dryer or something.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, so this is actually really nice. They have a cheaper model, but we had that before and it broke down on us. This is just a little.
I saw like a $20 model.
Pieces.
$25 model.
You've been in this game long enough. You know how it is. You buy that cheap stuff, it breaks on you. Especially with your staff.
Get name brand refrigerators if you can afford them. Get name brand fryers if you can afford them.
I'm telling you guys, y'all are going to try to open a restaurant and try to cut every corner you can, and you're going to pay for it. So take it from us. We've been there and we've done that.
I wouldn't change how I did it, I don't think, because I couldn't have afforded to anyway. So, but then if we do another one, or if you can afford it,
absolutely,
go ahead and invest in it because you're going to pay for it later, like you said. You're going to pay for it.
So what I'm doing here, for those who are listening, I poured the beer inside the empty Patron bottle. You can use any bottle that you find, and then you can actually buy these little wood chips, and you can actually offer your guests. Do they want apple, cedar, oak?
Let me smell that.
And this one's apple wood here. It's a little sweeter than your oak. There's that little box there for you. And and then it's going to get a little smoky in here, but we're going to basically just light this bowl.
It's like a pinch, huh?
Just a little pinch. Yeah, because you're only going to do it. That's actually might be a little too much. But then you're just going to light this on, and then it actually has a motor inside this smoke gun, and just turn it on.
It's like a fan?
Yeah, and it's going to suck that down for you. And then
you just kind of get the side and...
Yeah, just kind of get that.
Oh, wow. Once it
all lights up. And then once it's all smoked up...
It's like a fog machine.
Yeah, and I actually would just let that go on the bar top for added effects.
All right, so that's what I'm concerned about. Is it cool or does it offend people? Certain
it's
people.
Cool. I mean, especially in my big, tall ceiling building, and the bar.
It's a pleasant smoke.
It's a pleasant smoke, and
it's not like, oh, you're smoking a cigarette or
exactly. It's like wood. I mean, it goes hand in hand with barbecue anyway, right? With your concept,
yeah, it changes the whole.
So anyway, you're already gonna ruin the wood chips in the gun, so you might as well
let it run.
And add some more theatrics.
Sure.
Because that's what having a bar is all about. Is half of it's theatrics and presentation. Huh. So we actually serve this in a cigar box with the glass on the side. So
okay.
That's the presentation.
So they kind of pour their own?
They pour their own.
So how long do you have to leave it in there?
That's up to the guests. The longer they let it set, the smokier it'll be.
That's kind of what we were thinking about doing, is getting a flip top, kind of more beer oriented bottle. Mm-hmm. And you can have any beer on tap smoked. And then we just give them the flip top and an empty glass.
That's
it. Little less classy than your
No, but
version,
that's it. Yeah, and people, I think there's a research done where people will pay for add-ons and extras. People are looking for add-ons and extras. People want to customize their experience.
So I should charge more for that?
Well, we charge. I mean, it's an added feature. I mean, you're paying for the wood, you're paying for the smoke gun, you're paying for the time for your bartenders to produce it. I mean, it's definitely an added service that you're providing to the guest and an added experience. So
So if it's I don't know, a pint of beer in a liter bottle, so half filled and then half filled to smoke, would you add $2?
I would say $2. I would pay $2 more for that experience.
I would too. Yeah.
And you're basically niching yourself out because not every bar has smoked beer.
We make smoked beers, but it's in the beginning of the process, and the whole batch is smoked.
That doesn't really mean much to the end user because they don't get to see the theatrics and the presentation of that the smoking process.
Yeah. This is definitely unique, and I haven't seen a brewery do it. So we're going to give it a shot.
Definitely give it a shot. And then if you are going to buy a smoke gun, not that this is an episode about the smoke gun, but you can also, like what we've done in the past is put food in big pans and saran wrap it, poke a hole in the saran wrap, and infuse that saran wrap with smoke, which I know you have a smoker, but like cold items like cheeses and stuff like that.
Right.
You can do that with I guess you call it dry smoke without having any heat.
Just cold smoking.
Cold smoking.
Yeah. We have a cold smoker, but it's kind of a bigger process.
Okay.
This would be nice for kind of on the spot stuff, or like even, I guess, desserts, fruits, ice creams if you wanted. It's that there's no heat,
Exactly.
Put it in a container, put it back in the freezer if you need to,
Our
right?
feta cheese, we do the smoked feta cheese, and that turns out really great.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we could do. I think that smells really pleasant. We might do oak just to match with the wood type we're using.
Keep it simple too. So we offer our guests a variety of wood chips, but yeah, just having one, just call it oak. I mean, call it smoked is enough.
Plus, like if our restaurant smells like, smoked wood, no one's gonna mind.
No,
we're a barbecue restaurant.
I don't think they would mind at all. Like you just smelled here, it smells amazing. So, but I mean, that is what it's really all about. Is maybe it's not what it's all about, but that's what we're all about, is, creating that guest experience. On the other end of the spectrum, I know there's like, Cane's Chicken Tenders, which is a regional chain here, and it's just like, we only do one thing, we only serve tenders, and that's fine. But I don't know, I think me and you were more on the cutting edge, trying to be, like what's the newest, coolest,
Sure, as long as it fits our brand. That's the like. The one rule is like we can do anything, but how do we make it align with our brand?
Gotcha.
Right.
And it's crazy because even like a barbecue restaurant and Greek restaurant, it's so funny how you can really spin and manipulate and twist things to make it fit your brand and your image.
Sure. I mean, it's you take like a cheesecake, which is not a Greek thing, and you do a baklava cheesecake, right?
There you go. By the way, on that note, pumpkin spiced baklava cheesecake we're actually serving right now. Yeah, little pumpkin swirls, and we actually drizzle it with some nice are you team caramel or team caramel?
Man, I don't know. I'd say both.
I don't know where I am at either. So caramel.
I feel wrong every time, no matter which one I use. So.
It's not caramel, it's caramel.
Caramel. I think it depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to someone who's more Texan and kind of has a more Southern accent, I kind of adapt my speech to that naturally.
Give me a burr.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that going on for our little fall flavored
That sounds
dessert.
awesome. I guess we should do something. We probably have to make a
Pumpkin. Well, you got your pumpkin beer that we talked about in the last episode, and you got different things there going on.
yeah.
Maybe get your dad to make a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, he makes a pumpkin pie cheesecake. That's really good.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
And we've been doing that Rice Krispies cheesecake, which is
Oh, you told me about that last time. How'd that turn out?
it's not my favorite dessert, but the added nostalgia makes it really fun. So
People love nostalgia. I've noticed people. If anything, you can bring that back to the '90s.
Yeah.
Anything you bring back to the '90s, people are loving that.
I just picked up I don't play video games. I don't have any consoles, but I picked up a Super NES Mini just to have at home and,
Man,
Yeah.
Zelda, Super Mario's.
yeah.
We might change a podcast to a gaming podcast.
Well, they have wireless remotes now, and we have projectors at the restaurant. So I was thinking we could have like a
Game night type
game
thing.
night. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And add like on a Tuesday or something instead of
The only
trivia.
downside is only a few users would be able to enjoy that.
2 at a time.
Yeah, that's
But-
the only downside.
We have 2 projectors.
Okay.
We could have.
You could always
tournament
buy.
going on.
You could always get like
Mario Kart tournament. Maybe.
that'd be cool. Maybe even some arcade machines. How much do those cost? Did you look into them?
It's
They break
it's just
down.
like equipment, man. How much
You can buy it new. You can buy it
yeah.
used. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's like buying a refrigerator.
And then it's like that takes up space. You have a cater. If you have like a big banquet, you gotta.
Right.
You got,
we don't have when we fill up on the weekends. We don't have a whole lot of standing room.
gotcha. You don't want to diminish that with arcade games and stuff.
Right. If we had another covered piece of property next door or something, then we'll see.
Yeah, I have a tomorrow night, Friday night. We actually have a big rehearsal dinner, like 65 people.
Oh, that really absorbed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, so
I don't know if
beer.
it changed the
Let's
color.
Let's see what happens
Oh,
here.
I'm way behind.
I'm telling you, man.
What'd you think about this one?
I liked it a lot. It was really good. It was a really well put together beer. Nothing crazy, just a good drinking beer.
Yeah, it's a little. We didn't have time to lager it because of the time
Let me pull you at an
constraints
angle here.
with
Keep those.
with the city event. Next year we'll have a little more time to plan. So we actually used a German ale yeast, so it's got a little more fruitiness to it, but it still has all those like malty caramel backbone that
Okay.
Oktoberfest shit.
And that's the Garland Guzzler you're talking about right now. And we just got on smoking it with Applewood Smoke, and this would be your first smoked beer ever,
First
cold smoked,
cold smoked beer.
in front of you. All right, let's see what you think, man.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you opened it and poured it into the glass, I could smell it. I've seen some other cocktails done in the glass where they kind of have the smoke in the glass, or they put the whole glass in kind of a chamber,
Kind of like Beauty and the
a
Beast,
glass
where they have like
box with
the
rose
flower.
and
Yeah,
exactly that. And then they crack it and fill it with smoke, and when they pull the chamber off, the smoke stays
Sure.
in the glass because the cold liquid, the cold air kind of holds the smoke in there.
There are different ways to do it.
Yeah.
I think we left in there a little too long. It's a little over smoked.
Really?
My-
Maybe
for
my
my
palate's
opinion.
burn out for for smoky things. Yeah, I did pick up kind of I don't know. It's not like a harshness, but
I can tell that like a little burnt note to it.
it's different.
I don't know if we let it run too long in there or what.
I like it. I mean, you're just gonna have to experiment with different beers. I think the lighter the beer, maybe less time.
Sure.
But if this was a stout, or a porter, or even a Scottish ale,
Sure. I think that would work really well with the smoke. But yeah, people love it. It's we do it with a margarita at the restaurant, and we call it the Boss Rita, and it's
I like it.
We use Patron, we use Citron, and we use like our homemade sweet and sour.
I think the first sip is always going to be kind of shocking, but it's grown on me.
Definitely something that you can market and advertise.
Thanks, man. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing the beer.
Yeah, of course.
So Christmas is going on. We got 120 days left. for
You're counting down?
2018. Something like that. We got 3 more months left.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see how that goes.
It's a busy season for us. We have our anniversary party in December.
January or December 3rd. And which is your birthday, right?
5th, but yeah.
December 5th.
Mm-hmm. I think our party's going to be on the 1st because it's the first Saturday of
The
December.
first Saturday of December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's always a good time. I'll definitely have to make sure I swing by and check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You going to releasing barrel age something that night?
Multiple things.
Multiple.
There's going to be a lot of beer.
Are you doing pre-sale tickets, or how do you do that to maximize profits on that night?
Well, we have a really good raspberry sour that we've been working on for almost 3 years now. Blended select barrels, re-fermented on raspberries for 6 months, bottled and bottle conditioning for 6 more months. So we're thinking like VIP tickets would include a couple of things that you may not be able to get if you just walk in.
That'd be cool.
But then just open to the public kind of party. So,
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah, and then we have a staff party, which we got to plan. We always do something big for the staff. Do you guys do something?
I probably should. Now, hopefully none of the staff are listening right now. I do little things for the staff. We don't necessarily have a big. We're open 7 days a week. I guess you guys are off on Monday, so it's just so hard to get the staffs together with all the servers that are school and
we actually close it an extra day just to do it.
Oh, you close an extra day just to do the staff party?
Yeah, the day after our anniversary party, we were shut down. Everybody sleeps in.
Nice.
And then that night we get back together.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. It kind of, being so close to Christmas, it kind of doubles as a Christmas
really
party and a staff party.
We do a little Christmas decorating party where we'll close down an hour early, and we'll decorate the restaurant and have some drinks and listen to some Christmas music and stuff like that. So we do a little something like that, but nothing epic like what you guys do over there.
No party bus? Come on, man.
No party bus. So
actually, we've been trying to figure out good ways to team up with other restaurants and breweries. One year we went to a brewery down the street and they let us have the run of the place.
Cool.
We hired a guy to come do kind of interactive games together, kind of competitive team-oriented games.
Team building and stuff like that. That's really neat.
Team building without the lesson,
Gotcha.
know, just fun.
Yeah.
This year we're talking about maybe doing an arcade or going to like shenanigans because it's easy.
So you got older staff though. Everybody's over 21, aren't they?
This year we have 2 that aren't. So
see, I got a lot. I got like 10 people that are under 21. So it's just like, what are we gonna do? Go bowling?
Yeah. Laser tag. I don't know. Paintball.
Maybe we
do
should.
Something fun.
Maybe we should have a bowling night.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Come to our place.
There you go. Intrinsic Smokehouse and Brewing Company.
We'll set up a projector outside, and y'all can play video games. And
there you go.
I don't know.
We'll get it done somehow. Something.
Yeah, karaoke. Go rent out a karaoke room. How big is your staff?
15 people.
15. Yeah, you
Something
probably
like that.
rent out a karaoke room and bring in some food and.
I wonder if it'd be like one of those Michael Scott The Office type parties.
You hope so.
Well, what else, man? What else are we going to talk about today in today's episode? You want to talk about how to deal with hiring people? Did we talk about that already? What do we got to talk about? What else is
is going on? Every
on?
time around this year, too, we do our reviews of our employees. Do you do any of that? Or
We do reviews, probably not as much as I'm the one who does the reviews, and I'm kind of running out with my head cut off. Probably don't do as many reviews as I want to, but
is it like when they come at 6 months or a year? Do you have everybody? All the reviews are done. In August.
To be frank, I have no organization on that. Just to really.
Do you think that would be beneficial?
To be honest with you, or
do you kind of?
I'm so involved.
Turnover with servers, or
we have high turnover, unfortunately, with servers.
But your kitchen staff,
staff stays, but it's
you
so
talk
funny.
to them every day.
Yeah, it's just like the reviews happen organically. It's like we don't need to talk about talking about,
Sure.
because we're always talking about it all the time. It's like, hey, what can we do this week? What can we do today? What can we do this shift?
It helps with goal setting. For us, the first 2 years the first year was definitely awkward. People thought they had to have something to prove. It's like, no, we're just trying to get feedback from you guys. And we started each review off as like, hey, here's what we appreciate about you. Here's what we think your potential is.
Do you do this like in a boardroom setting, or is it just like a one-on-one thing?
It's usually me and my wife and whoever, the employee. And then we actually had them fill out their own review form, a simple questionnaire about, how do you think your performance is, what could you improve, and then what suggestions do you have for us, or do you have any grievances, or what can we do to make the work environment better for you? This year, I feel like people are looking forward to it because it generally coincides with raises.
Okay. Yeah, people always like a raise.
But it's always a complicated situation because, longevity of your employment doesn't necessarily change the economics of the job. If you're doing a better job, then I would say you absolutely, you deserve a raise, or if you're taking on more responsibilities. But if, the business isn't growing anymore, you can't justify everybody getting kind of a blanket 20% raise. But I think the national average is like 3%. And so
at least to keep it with inflation, right?
Right. But so when you have guys who are making $10 an hour, or $15 an hour, you're talking about a quarter, 50 cents.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's doable. It can be a really good motivational tool. But we all know that only lasts so long too,
Exactly. I think I read this, that there's really not a correlation between more money and harder work ethic. I think that's just instilled. You'll work as hard as you always do.
I think work on people's work environment and their happiness. Do they feel like they have opportunity to do stuff they want to do?
Sure.
Or is this job a means to reach a goal? I'm sure you have students who are out getting their degree in criminal justice.
Sure.
Or something else unrelated to the service industry, but the job allows them to reach that goal. Or maybe you just have a kid who's in high school and wants to buy a car, and connecting with them on that level can motivate them.
I definitely do a lot of mentoring, just trying to give people advice from a business owner. Maybe they have their parents, or maybe they don't have good parenting, a good structure at home. They don't have a lot of people for guidance. So I do try to step in on that, not necessarily like a employee review, but just, I do definitely put myself as a father figure to a lot of these young kids. And I see a lot there's so much opportunity for them to grow and be great. And I definitely want to take the time to, instill all that in them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's employee reviews. Really important to do. After today's conversation, you definitely motivated me to bring them in. Almost like doing this podcast. It's just nice to sit down and just talk to someone one-on-one and really see, how their brain is ticking, what's on their mind, what are their grievances, what are their praises, and what are their rooms for opportunity and stuff like that. So I think communication is, in any relationship, with our family life or with our employees, communication is key. And yeah, definitely.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do feel sometimes that I only have so much to give. I only have, 10,000 words a day I can say, and then I'm done.
You start to sound like a broken record.
So don't try to do it all at once.
Yeah.
I'd spread it out if you're
the only
trying to connect to every employee every day is really hard.
It's crazy. The employee mindset's I think entitlement. Hey, I need another raise, and it's looking at my sales report. I'm well, we're kind of flat this year,
right?
But now I got to pay you more. It kind of sucked, So, but I've ran into that situation before. Being in the business for 5 years now, it's
growing the business isn't their job. It's your job.
Exactly.
It's my job.
That's true. And I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We've got to put these numbers up. They clock in to, they're a tool to get the job done, so to speak. I know it sounds harsh, but it's just the truth. It's our job as the owners to push sales, to push growth, increase marketing, increase, creativity, and, all these different things for them to benefit from it, essentially.
Sure. I mean, something I know I can improve, which I think about trying to be self-aware, as to not be dismissive of people's ideas. Sometimes I'm in the middle of something and I'm dealing with a what I call a owner problem, a bill or catering email or something.
Always
it
something.
could be anything, right? And then someone walks up and has an idea they want to share with you that they're excited about, or a small problem that they want to tell you about that they took care of, and I can just be like, okay.
Sure.
It's hard to switch gears sometimes. So
no, I get it.
If I think for me, what I have to learn is to not always do all of my serious work where I'm physically approachable. Go to the office, or like you have a setup at home or set up somewhere to kind of deal with that stuff. I haven't paid my bills for the month yet. It's the beginning of the month, and I have to do our liquor reports, or our beer reports, alcohol tax, sales tax, all that stuff,
all the crazy stuff.
And I'm gonna do it on Monday because I know we're closed, and I'll have the least amount of distractions, and
sure.
I can focus on that, and if someone walks up to me, not kind of dismiss them and be
it is tough,
put up the hand sort of thing. So
yeah, that's tough. I think as a restaurant owner, we just have so much pressure on our backs, to get stuff done, like you just said earlier,
sure.
to perform, to put up numbers.
We're constantly, I guess, disciplining ourselves, self-discipline.
Yeah.
Because we don't answer to anyone, so you have to keep yourself in check.
And I talked to somebody about this the other day. I forgot what we were talking about, but just talking about like people's attention span and how it's so much harder for us today. I think it's hard for everyone today. It's like so many people have so many high expectations living in their Instagram lives. Like they want everything Instagram worthy, and it's like as owners we have to provide that Instagram life for them to meet their expectations. So it's just like this constant flow of like new items, new creations, new, bedazzling, our guests to get them.
Yeah, but that's fun too.
And it's fun too. It's fun, but it's just work though, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
It's a lot of work, and everything takes time.
Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot, time and energy and effort, and there's only so much of it to go around. So
right. Well, just focus it, and also realize that you may have hired someone, and you should be hiring good people that want to help you. Let them help you.
Yeah.
Also, just maybe they're better at something than you are too. I would rejoice anytime someone accomplishes something in a way I wouldn't have thought of, or like is better at something than I am at work. When it's your creation, you kind of think you're the pinnacle and prime example of everything, because you
put your heart and soul into it. No one else cares as much as you do.
Care more, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just
it is nice.
Encourage when people do the right thing.
And I think that's key.
When they make it 80%. Like
at least it's not exactly. You have to pick and choose your battles, and I realize that too. Like, hey, they got 80% there. Like that's. That and the 0 of my time and then 80% worthy, like you pick and choose your battles. Mm-hmm. And I think as entrepreneurs, as restaurateurs, in order to grow, you're just gonna have to give up some of that one man army show.
Sure.
You've got to give people the reins and let them lead and guide your staff and your restaurant and your business. Otherwise, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. And I'm always a big believer in that. So if you're doing everything by yourself right now, you're going to be doing everything by yourself.
It takes time to get there, though.
It does.
We're almost done with 3 years.
Sure.
And I'm just now kind of letting go of some of the customer service problems. Like there was an issue, kind of letting my night manager take care of it, and I'm there if they need advice. But you've kind of led by example for so long. You've talked to them and told. I mean, lots of times my problem is I need to tell them what I expect out of them. People need to hear what you need them to do.
Sure.
And I say, hey, you're doing this great. You're doing this great. You're doing this great. Now let's try to start, interacting with our customers more. Like the kitchen's fine. When you have a break and you're like, I don't know what to do. Everything's running fine. First of all, congratulate your staff that they're doing that, and then go out to the floor and make sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, that customer appreciation, customer awareness, and definitely building those relationships with the guests. That's a big thing that I'm really push a lot on. So, well, wow. That's the end of our 30 minutes, Carrie.
Again? Okay. Well, good. I'm out of beer, so I got to go.
Our 30-minute Real Restaurant Radio counseling session. Today would sound like more of a counseling episode today than anything else. But,
well, sometimes you have a beer and you get rowdy. Sometimes you have a beer and get
get deep. Yeah, getting real deep here today. Well, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to two real restaurant owners talk about real restaurant problems and the struggles and all the things that go into running a restaurant. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.